Welcome to our living room on this very warm August day. So, I have another story. And last week I shared a story about my father. And this is another story about my father. But mainly it's a story about a practice that you can do that's actually a lot of fun and very deep and meaningful. So my parents, I grew up in Buffalo, New York, and eventually when we got married after like 6 years, we settled in California, and my parents would come every year and be here for probably 3 weeks in December, and then in the summer we would go to their house. So we got to have these two nice visits. Eventually they moved and lived right next door to us. This was before that. So this takes place about 38 years ago when our two daughters were just little girls, and my parents were coming every Christmas time. So my father would every time he came, he'd like to take me to a little cafe for a piece of pie and a cup of coffee. I didn't drink coffee, so I had tea. But this is something he just loved doing, was having that time alone with me, and I loved it too. So my father, I mentioned last week that my father wasn't the type that liked to hear about my feelings. That just never happened, actually. But he loved me so deeply, and I knew that. I really deeply knew that. Now, conversations with my father weren't the way I would necessarily like them, but I learned a way to make them fabulous, and that's what I'm going to share. So my father, there were two subjects that my father would talk about. The first subject I did not like, and he wanted to know why Barry didn't make more money. And it was the same, like he said he went to medical school, he studied psychiatry, he could be making so much money. Why is he not making more money? And it's true, we weren't making so much money. Our work was, it just didn't bring in a lot of money. I didn't like that subject, and I could change it very quickly. So my father didn't go down that road. The second subject, he loved this subject very, very much. And he liked to talk about house repairs. My father was very handy, and he loved doing house repairs, improving things. Now, at the time, we didn't own a house. I mean, I think now I probably would be really interested. I might even have some ideas of my own. But at that time, I had zero interest in that. But what I would do is I'd ask my dad, "What are you doing with the house?" And then he would be so excited to tell me about the different house repairs that he wanted to do. And this was all while we were eating our pie and, the tea and the coffee. And what I would do is I just, of course I would listen, but I would mainly look into his eyes and just feel how much I loved him. And that it was, love was so much more than the conversation that you're having. And I'd ask a few questions too, because I would be paying attention to but that wasn't the number one thing. The number one thing is just looking into his eyes and feeling how much I loved my dad. So then the waitress would bring us our little bill, which my dad always paid for. And then this always happened at the end. He said, "You and I know how to really have a good time." And I knew that he just was so happy, not because he talked about the house repairs, but because he really he really felt that love. So I want to recommend this I call it listening plus. So you're listening, but the plus part is really the important. I thought today, because I knew that I was going to share this, that I do this sometimes with our little grandson, Owen. Last year, every year we go on a river trip with Mira and Owen and also our son. And last year, Owen liked to come to our tent really early, like 6:30. That's early for us. And we would let him in and he'd sit there and he would tell us he wanted to talk about Mario Kart. We have no idea what Mario Kart is. It's some kind of video game. And honestly, I had zero interest in Mario Kart. But he was so excited and he wanted to tell us. And so I would do this listening plus with him. I just be listening very intently, but mostly I'd be looking into his adorable face and his beautiful eyes, and just my heart would just be loving him so deeply. So you see, you can do this, and he loved it. And every morning he came at 6:30 to talk about Mario Kart. And so you can do this with all ages and in any situation. Adding that plus part. So beautiful.
Oh, that's beautiful. You do that with me too.
No,
yes, you do.
I like sometimes, the things you say.
I know, but sometimes I actually talk about home projects, home repair, and I can tell you're listening to me, but I can tell that you're also
loving it.
You're loving, and it's anyway. It's a great skill to learn, because it doesn't mean you're not really paying attention to what the person is saying, but you're paying attention to their heart and your connection. So really, you can do this with anyone, and when you're doing it, the person will feel it. They'll feel like, wow, this is really nice. Even though consciously, maybe they don't know what's going on, but it's a secret. It's a great thing.
It's really fun, too. Really, really fun.
Well, obviously, when we're counseling people, when we're working with individuals, or even in the groups, we do this too, because it's so important not only to hear the words, but to get that connection and to feel that divine energy. That's really what it's about.
Yeah, and counseling, the words are very important. So we're listening very, very carefully on both levels. But with the Mario Kart, I didn't understand what in the world he was talking about. But
we still don't know what Mario Kart is.
I really
Maybe
don't.
Some of you could tell us. But,
but boy, was I just loving him. Adorable little boy. Well, I love this song Barry's going to sing.
Yeah, this is a song I learned from our dear friend Scott, yeah.
Grace.
Scott Grace. It used to be Scott Calixtine. Now it's Scott Grace. So Scott, if you're listening, thank you for teaching me this song. Guide me wherever I go. Step by step, Lord, you're leading me home. Like a stream in the desert, like a path through the snow. Wherever this world. You're guiding me home. You guide me wherever I go, and step by step, love, you're leading me home. Like a stream in the desert, like a path through the snow. Wherever I am in this world, you're guiding me home. 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 So feel that for a moment. How wonderfully guided we are. Every step, every moment. That there's this divine energy that is helping us, always guiding us. What a wonderful thing to feel. Thanks, everyone. Thanks.
And we are never alone. That guidance and light and love is always with us.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, and remember this Listening Plus. It's a great practice.
Yeah, really, it can transform any conversation. It's also important to be able to change the topic, too. If you don't like if it's politics or something,
Right.
just kind of change the topic. That's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So much love.
Mwah.